Hey guys, welcome to the latest edition of the Muir Reflection. John from the John Muir Show here, and there was a very interesting piece on CNN yesterday talking about the new Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs, Michael Caputo, who has been a longtime Republican activist, someone who has been supportive of Donald Trump's political career from the start. So in the CNN piece, they were going through a bunch of Michael Caputo's tweets from recent months before he was ever part of the Trump administration, where he was very critical of various leftist politicians and various leftist media members. And the goal for CNN clearly was to say, oh, look, this guy, he's so irresponsible. There's no way that Michael Caputo can serve in our government. Okay, but keep in mind, Michael Caputo was not part of the government at the time of these tweets. He was a private citizen who was simply exercising his free speech rights. And Michael Caputo was absolutely right with a lot of the stuff that he was saying. Some of the tweets that Michael Caputo was sending out, he was talking about how the media in this country, the mainstream media in this country, has been failing miserably in their coverage of the current pandemic. You had Caputo talking about how various mainstream media outlets have been inciting panic during this China virus episode, strictly because they wanted to weaponize this entire pandemic against their political nemesis, Donald Trump. And he's absolutely right. Look at what it is that a lot of these mainstream media outlets, a lot of these fake news media outlets have been doing in recent weeks and months. For them, it's been going after Donald Trump at every turn. They haven't actually cared about the well-being of the United States and its people. At the various daily White House briefings on the Chinese coronavirus, they haven't been asking, so many of them, legitimate questions that might actually be beneficial to people, that might actually give them legitimate information about public health. They're not asking any of that. For a lot of these mainstream media outlets, all it's been is gunning at President Trump time and time again. They cannot get past their partisan hatred for President Trump. They cannot put the well-being of you and your country ahead of their hatred for this duly elected president. So yes, they've absolutely been politicizing this pandemic. They've been trying to weaponize this pandemic against President Trump, because for these various mainstream media outlets, all they've cared about is opposing Trump at every turn. And when President Trump, which so often has been the case, when President Trump has not said or done anything that warrants criticism, well, then you've had various mainstream media outlets just lying about what it is that Trump has said or done so that they do have something to criticize. But again, what they are criticizing is something that Trump never said, never did. It's abundantly clear that for the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the New York Times, the Washington Post of the world, all they care about is politicizing this serious pandemic against their political enemy, Donald Trump. And it is doing absolutely nothing to benefit you or your country at this time where we do have this serious pandemic going on, where it'd be nice to have our media asking useful questions about legitimate medical advice, where it'd be nice to have our media showing some concern for the massive negative economic toll that the response to the China virus has taken on so many folks in this country, where people's constitutional rights are being trampled on by authoritarian orders like that from Wisconsin's Democrat Governor Tony Evers. It would be really nice if the mainstream media would actually be committed to helping U.S. citizens and the United States during this difficult time. But they can't rise above their partisan politics. They can't rise above their partisan hatred for Donald Trump. So when you have Michael Caputo in another tweet, tweeting out that the coronavirus is serious, the media is not, he's absolutely right. That's all the time that we have for today and for this week. The John Muir Show, each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.